Okay, this is the back of the property. This is one building. This is the said property here, and this is where the liquor store is with apartment buildings up here. So this is the alley part, right off of Irving Park. Next picture. Okay. Well, they're making a delivery here to the liquor store, which is adjacent to the building that is in question. Um, Next picture. Okay. This is a view from, I believe, it's hard to tell. Um, I want to say off of Ash. So there's two trucks now blocking the alley, trying to deliver goods to, excuse me, to the liquor store. And this is the said property here. This is where the kids live. There's bicycles there. I have another picture. This is it. And the said building is right here. This is where the children live. So you've got, eh, okay, next. This is just another picture of trucks blocking the alley trying to deliver um, to the liquor store, which is right here. And then this is where the apartment building is above the liquor store. That's this kind of just a different, excuse me. This is the front of the building. As you can see, the parking spaces and the adjacent building is, they have enough spaces there where the building is set back. This in here is all you have. This is a sidewalk. So this is very small in here. You can accommodate, they said, I think, one, two, three, they're very small. And then these two are, you would be on the sidewalk if you put a car there. Next. Oh, incidentally, this overhead door, they said they can't use because, oh, okay, here we go. They said they can't use this because there's some kind of wall there, and it's too expensive to move or whatever. So all the motorcycles would have to go in the back alley to be serviced. Okay. Well, obviously, this is the liquor store. These are the apartments. This is the building in question. And I think there's one more. Uh, yeah, okay. And this is just another view. This is off of Ash. This is Ready Electric. So this is Irving Park, Ash, and then obviously the one building with the businesses and then the apartments. This is the building in question. Here's the liquor store. As you can see, there's a lot of cars here. There's no parking because it's all taken from the liquor store and the adjacent businesses. And this is all full. This is during the day. So, is there any more pictures? That's the last one. Okay. I just like to read a statement. Excuse me, I have a cold. As I have stated at the Building and Zoning meeting on November 1907, this kind of business does not belong in the B2 retail and limited service business district. As a resident of the 4th Ward for almost 20 years and a real estate professional, I know the negative impact on residential as well as commercial property value that such a business would have. My biggest concern is with the health and welfare from the noise and vibration from the Harley Davidson motorcycles, the snowmobiles, and the four-wheelers. And we didn't know about the lawnmowers and whatever. Not to mention the pollution, loss in property value and safety, especially when it comes to the children in the adjacent apartments, as well as the kids walking down the streets where we don't have sidewalks. And I would like to, we have a petition that I would like to give to the mayor. It's a petition from the residents, It's basically, we got this off the internet, so we decided to just use this after the fact. It's notarized, and there's 5 pages.
Yep.
And I think I'm done.
Could you
Thank
tell
you
us
very much.
could you tell us what occupancy is on the second floor of that building?
Okay, which building? The one-
Motorcycle building.
Oh, I believe there's only an apartment building. I'm sorry, I don't know.
Would you answer it, sir?
There are 2 renters in there that have been there for 10 years, I believe, okay? And there's 2 people living in that building, in the apartment upstairs.
So 2 single people live in 2 small apartments up there.
No, it's one large apartment. It's 1,900 square feet, the apartment.
Where's the entrance? I looked at the pictures. Where's the entrance
The
to get?
entrance is right to the front there, and that's the entrance to the property right there.
Was it that door that's by the
Yes.
Garage door?
Yes.
Has there ever been a problem with pedestrians walking out of there with the garage door open, maybe getting hit or something? Is there any danger?
Not to my knowledge.
Do they have a fire exit to the back?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
For the record, I acknowledge receipt of a petition to the City of Wooddale not to allow a special use permit for Eagles Claw Cycles LLC, a motorcycle sales and service store in the B2 Retail and Limited Service Business District at 365 East Irving, Wooddale, Illinois, and it's signed by 56 different individuals residing on Hemlock, Cedar, Ash, Oak, Edgewood. Those streets. Alderman Winger?
Thank you. I'd first like to remind council and others that my understanding of our current zoning is that this petitioner can come in and not do the selling of motorcycles, but do the repair without the special use permit. And I believe he's targeted at the inception of about 80% of the repair of it. And then also that the special use allows control for the city. So if the petitioner is doing something inappropriate according to what we've drafted in the ordinance, then the city has the power to pull that use and the permit to operate out of that building. So far in that permit, we do have operation hours Monday through Saturday, 9 to 7. We do have no repairs in the back. Also, according to our conversation last week, the petitioner said that the first thing that they're going to do is they're going to pull the pole sign out and they're going to put up a nice monument sign in compliance with Wooddale Sign Code Ordinance. So, Alderman Shockey, I would like you to add that to your motion, and I do have a few others, and then perhaps then you could vote on whether you accept the changes or not. So the pole sign coming out, monument sign coming in, I see that as a plus and an improvement to the appearance. Also, sales tax in Wooddale, as the motorcycle sales do ramp up over the time that the business is there, I have a question to the petitioner. Is a sales tax going to be recorded in Wooddale?
Yes, it will.
Sir, would you give your name for the record?
I'm sorry. My name is Chuck Boyan. I'm speaking on behalf of the Eagles Claw Cycles owner, Bill Edwards, who cannot be here. He's in a hospital this evening with his girlfriend who's recovering from brain aneurysm. Those sales, yes, will be recorded in the city of Wooddale.
Okay, thank you. And my question to Mr. Bond, that are there any logistics that we have to go through before doing the ordinance to ensure that the sales tax flows through
Mr. Bond?
on our end?
What we would do is include that, those provisions in, what you've got before you is a provision to approve the ordinance. We would include that in the ordinance itself, which would then be required to come back before you as a council for ultimate approval.
Okay, thank you. So then that would be the second thing that I ask Alderman Shockey to add to the ordinance. And also,
Yes.
thirdly, the testing on residential roads. I know that that is a concern for some neighbors, and I know that the petitioner, according to the current layout of the building, has to exit out of the alley, understandably so. However, instead of testing on residential roads, then, question to the petitioner, then can the people who are testing the vehicles get on Irving Park and do the testing, and then come back through on the main road? So you're not going up and down residential.
Ma'am,
my
I'll
question
be, I'll
is
be
the
glad to
petitioner.
recognize you, but we can only do one at a time, and I'll give you your opportunity. Sir?
Yes, the testing of a motorcycle will depend in part what's being done to it, but to drive up and down a residential street is typically not going to allow enough RPMs to be generated to really find out, is the repair working, or are there other problems with the engine operation? So residential street is really not a good place to test it anyway. There was made reference to snowmobiles and ATVs. I personally don't know anything about lawnmowers and snowblowers, but ATVs and snowmobiles, those of course would have to be taken out of the city limits area to a place where it's legal to operate them. So I hope that answers the question.
So
We would not be testing motorcycles on residential streets. In most likelihood, they'd be coming on Irving Park Road and going west, where there is higher speed limit areas and an expressway.
So are you comfortable adding that to the special use of no testing on residential?
Certainly, certainly.
Okay, thank you. So then I ask Alderman Shockey to add that as the third item to the motion. And that concludes. Thank you.
Alderman Shockey, do you agree to those three amendments?
I certainly do.
Who is the seconder?
Alderman Cadella.
I will sign, I do agree. Okay. Next is Chuck Boyne.
Well, I've kind of already spoken. Again, thank you, Mr. Mayor and council members, for hearing me this evening. I'm just asking that, I think we presented our case to the council last week. I'm asking that the considerations and the vote that was taken last week continue. We are looking to provide a service to a great many members of this community. As I've joined the American Legion, I have found out that there are quite a few motorcycle riders in the city of Wooddale, and there are no motorcycle service facilities in the city of Wooddale. We are, I believe, mature individuals and adults that have the ability and the willingness to respect those with whom we work and with whom we live, and have absolutely no intentions of doing anything that's going to cause a problem with the people who are our neighbors, businesses or residents. The alleyway, you saw a picture of the alleyway. There's no way that we're going to ride a motorcycle through that alley at any speed whatsoever that's going to create noise. That's probably one of the most dangerous places I've seen to ride a motorcycle. Again, we are not testing motorcycles on residential streets. We expect our motorcycle service department to represent approximately 80% of the business for the first 3 years. Our business plan then anticipates that retail sales of motorcycles and other parts and accessory items will begin taking the lead and reach a 60-40%, with 60% as retail sales. Quite honestly, the money's in the chrome, not in putting it on. And that's exactly where we intend to go, but also have to be able to provide service to those motorcycles as they come through our shop. Alderman Cadella, at the previous meeting, asked about the wall. There is a 2-car length garage behind that garage door that you saw, and then there is a wall. That wall currently supports the second exit from the upstairs apartment. Our hope is that after we're able to take possession of the building, Mr. Edwards will sell his townhome in Carroll Stream and move into that apartment, and we will then work with the building commission to create a second exit, and then hopefully take that wall down to allow entrance from the front. So we do have plans to make this more amenable to the public and to the community and to the residents, but those are not things that we can do right away. Thank you.
Our next is Mirko Petrovic.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I will be brief, best of my ability. I have been reading the code book of the city of Woodell, and I discovered a code violation that would prohibit the use of motorbike repair shop. Section 10-2004, restriction on uses. Such uses operation of product shall not be objectable due to odor, dust, smoke, noise, vibration, or other similar causes. These are the restrictions for the B1, B2, and B3 zoning. A motorcycle repair shop is with that meet all those, make all those.
Sir, if you could move over just a little more so the microphone can pick you up, because we do rebroadcast this for the citizens at home.
Sorry.
Okay, that's fine.
Put my glasses. Section 10-2102, permitted uses. According to section 10-2102, a motorcycle shop does not fit into B2 zoning. The applicant even stated on his application that his business was B3. City of Woodell is violating this code if motorcycle shop is allowed. This is the B2 permitted uses, which a motorcycle shop does not fit in this zoning. Section 10-110, uses not specified permitted in the district. This is a general zoning code. This is why we have different zoning. So businesses that are zoned differently than the building are not permitted according to this section. When a use is not specifically designated as a permitted use within any given zoning district, such use is expressly prohibited. Section 1101. Thank you. Purpose and authorization. This Article 11 special uses, the following code is saying that because they are classified as a different zoning, they are not allowed to apply for special use permit. Section 10-1104 standard. The zoning board of appeal of the city council, as the case may be, shall not recommend or grant a special use unless it shall make finding of fact based upon evidence presented at a hearing in any given case that, number one, special use will serve the public convenience at a location or subject property, or what the establishment maintenance operation of the special use will not detrimental to or endanger to public health, safety, morale, comfort, or general welfare. 3, the special use will not be injurious to the use or enjoyment of other property in the immediate vicinity of the subject property for the purpose already permitted in such a zoning district, nor substantially diminish and impair other property value with the neighborhood. 5, adequate utility, access road, drainage, or other necessary facility have been or will be provided. 6, parking area shall be adequate size of the particular special use, which area shall be properly located in suitable, screened from adjoining residential uses in the entrances and exit driveways. To and from this parking area shall be designated so as to prevent traffic hazard, eliminate nuisance, or minimize traffic congestion on a public street. A motorcycle shop would violate all these standards. Section 10-1102, application for a special use. At the time of filing, the applicant for special use shall be accompanied by proof of ownership, proof of authority on behalf of the owner or current contractor to purchase or lease the subject property. Applicant William Edward, he didn't, he was not the owner, and he did not provide a lease at the time of application to the city. I am asking City Council to follow the Zoning Board of Appeal recommendation, which was denial special use permit on November 19th. Their recommendation were to deny. Based on all this, I'm asking City Council to deny special use to Eagle Claw Cycle LLS. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Petrovich. Alderman Wesley?
Maybe the petitioner could ask this, how many employees is he going to have there?
Mr. Boyne?
Initially, himself and one part-time employee and one other person who will handle the retail.
If it goes, business takes off, how many employees could he possibly add on there?
He indicated at the zoning commission that there would be 9 employees. Business is going to have to take off quite a bit, and if it gets to that point, the space would be too small. We'd have to relocate.
Okay, let me ask you
Best
this.
case scenario is probably 3 full-time employees.
All right, let me ask you this question. Where will those 3 employees, full-time employees, park?
One of those employees is expected to be Mr. Edwards. The current plan is that the residents living upstairs will be moving. They are purchasing a home, and it's his plan to live there. His vehicle will most likely be parked inside the building, either in the existing garage, which on your on the charts and diagrams that we gave was the bike wash area, or in the back service area where the storage is. The other 2 people will most likely be parking in the back of the building. There are 4 parking spaces, space for 4 parking in the back. There's space in the front of the building for, I believe, 7 vehicles. Once that sign comes down, there's currently space in the front for 6.
Yeah, but if you
take the sign down, that opens up a 7th.
But if you put that sign up that we asked you to put up, that eliminates parking spots.
I guess that would depend on where that sign is placed, and I don't know that.
Sir, you need to be recognized.
We have asked you guys, if it goes forward, that you would have a Mountaineer sign on the front. I just don't see where that will happen. If it goes forward and where you will put that sign, because then you will be going below your parking spaces again. The fear that I have after visiting this site, the fear I have is a situation that's occurring right now in our community with a restaurant in town that we have their employees parking in the residential neighborhood and blocking parking in front of these people's houses. We have that going on now. I know he says he's only going to have 3, but after visiting that site and after removing that sign and all that, my recommendation for this council, and if Swinger wants to follow up with this, that's more than happy. We have asked them to put another sign in the front of that building, which is a pretty good sized sign according to our sign code. I think he will go way below his parking spaces then. In a way, I just, after visiting that site, I just can't. And what threw me to curveball here is I'll tell you, to be honest with you, I'm worried about the people parking. I really am.
I can appreciate that. As I said in the previous meeting, we expect that the majority of our customers to be on motorcycles. And every space allocated for one automobile under federal regulations and works indicates one automobile parking space will accommodate 3 to 5 motorcycles. We don't have the room in the building to have that many people in our retail shop or even in our service department. I mean, this is a small business. It's a very small business. I don't expect to see 10, 15, 20 people trying to come into the building at any given time. There is additional parking at the liquor store. There is additional parking across the street. There is additional parking at the strip mall next door to us. I don't ever see us utilizing residential areas for parking for any reason.
Mr. Mayor, could I do a follow-up on that, please?
I still do have other citizen comment before we get into general debate on this, unless you have a question specifically for Mr. Boyne.
No, I could ask that down the line, Mayor.
Thank you. Next is Mr. Ristall.
I have a question specific for him.
Mr. Boyne?
By the way, could you spell your name? Because I don't think I'm hearing it pronounced right.
It's Boien, and it's pronounced Boyen.
Thank you, Mr. Boyan. Do you have written permission from the liquor store and the strip mall to allow your clients to park on their property?
No, sir, I do not have written permission. We have talked with them, and we have gotten verbal permission from the electric company across the street, and we have gotten verbal permission from the liquor store, but I can't guarantee that we got it from the liquor store owner. So, but, you know, if that's what we would need to do, we would certainly pursue that.
I would certainly recommend it,
Okay.
very highly.
Next is Mr. Ristall.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak this evening. My name is George Ristaw. I'm a real estate broker. I've been licensed in the state of Illinois for 33 years, and I'm the representative for the owner that assisted them in purchasing the property here in Wooddale at 365 East Irving Park Road, and also is assisting them in trying to find a quality tenant to bring into town here in Wooddale. While there are a couple of open items, and I have some points that I wanted to address, specifically because the parking issue is something that's just come up. One of the things that we looked at in our research process was that there are 13 spaces that are available at the next corner to the west that are municipal spaces. This would be outside of the liquor store itself. So this was a focus for spillover parking in the event that there were individuals that would come in and would not be able to be accommodated in the front. I personally counted the 13 spaces myself as part of the research for the project. In addition to that, the ownership, Mr. Tullo and his family have indicated that their plans within the first 12 months of ownership of the property would be to provide blacktop and striping at the rear of the property. So that would potentially maximize parking at the rear. The survey itself indicates that there's 63 feet of frontage that's at the front, and then there's 63 feet of frontage, or it would be at the rear of the space. So there's effectively 126 feet to make available maximum amount of parking. But of course, we would want to comply with whatever requirements we would have within the village itself to make sure that we would maximize those, but also follow any type of requirements that the village might have. With respect to the monument sign, which was also addressed briefly, we would like, and there is a requirement from what we understand, that there is a window that's going to close within about the next 18 to 24 months to have the existing sign that's at the property still remain. So that is going to be removed. It does not have to be done right now, but the plan here is that the Eagles Claw would get rid of that sign immediately. And then again, we would want to make sure that we would do something that would be suitable for the city and also for the tenant to maximize visibility for the business, but also to comply with any requirements that might be had within the city itself. So hopefully that gives some kind of an indication as to some of the forethought that's gone on within the planning process while acquisition of the building was handled. With respect to Mr. Petrovic's statements, the ownership is here this evening. There is a lease in place that's already been negotiated between the parties, and effectively we thought that this was going to be completed earlier, but you cannot have a business lease situation and a commitment until we knew that in fact we would have the ability to be able to occupy the space. So that is waiting to be signed and ready to move forward. In fact, plans have already been drawn for the space. An architect has been hired, and many different steps have been done in anticipation of being able to open up and bring this business into the city. I was not prepared to be able to address the items that